If your business cannot move unless you answer, approve, remind, decide, or fix it, you are literally depending on you too much if your business can't move without that, right? You do not have a support problem if that is the case. What you actually have, and it's something that most founders don't want to look at, is you have a dependency leak. And today on the Operational Leak series, I'm going to talk about the hidden gap that keeps your business dependent on you for every decision, every next step, and every movement. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Danette Moss, also known as the Strategy Lady, and I collaborate with consultants and service professionals or service based business owners to simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline their operations. Now, that's that four-step, uh, I like to call it framework that I'm mentioning to you all. It spells out S.A.S.S. And I do this in every level of my business so that they can actually stop the drowning in the back end and build their business that actually runs on what I like to say rinse and repeat. I like rinse and repeat systems, all in all. So here is what this leak looks like. A client has a question, you answer it. A contractor needs direction, you explain it. A task gets stuck, you jump in. Someone needs approval, you make a decision. A process is unclear, you clarify it again. And because you are good at what you do, you keep making it work. And at first, listen, it feels like leadership, it feels like service, it feels like being responsible. But over time, it becomes a bottleneck because now the business, y'all listen, it can't move unless you move. Your team cannot decide unless you decide. The client cannot get clarity unless you provide it. The work cannot continue unless you are available. That is not leadership, that's dependency. And dependency leaks, okay? It leaks one thing more than the next. Each time you turn around, something is leaking, one thing after the other, okay? More than anything else, your capacity is all over the place. And here is what I believe it costs you. It's going to cost you time, right? Because you are answering the same questions repeatedly. It costs energy because you are carrying the decisions that should already have, here we go with that word, a process. It costs that momentum that we talked about on episode 1 because work pauses, right? Work pauses when you are unavailable because it's just looking for you. It's going to cost that growth because the business cannot expand. It's not going to expand beyond the personal bandwidth because you, the business owner, the CEO, is doing it all. And this is where many consultants, again, listen, you get frustrated behind it. You get frustrated all the time, and it causes so many issues. You don't know literally which way to go, right? You think that you're saving time for yourself because you're doing it. But here you are, the frustrated CEO, hoping, wishing, and praying that things will work better for you, right? You know, they're saying that, hey, I wish that I had someone that I could talk to more, someone that would answer my questions faster. You feel like you've got to do it all because you feel like there's nobody else. It's like you literally are the bottleneck. That is truly not leadership. It is dependency. And I'm excited about this topic today, the founder dependency leak, because we really need to address those things. We need to get with the heart of the matter, right? And we need to get real about it. And we need to just look at the simple fact that we don't have any systems or processes in place. And so we're going to jump into that today. I've shared again the basis of the 4 steps that I'm going to be talking about throughout this entire series. I'm going to be sharing with you all simplify, automate, systematize, and streamline, which is the 4-step framework that spells out S.A.S.S. So when you all hear me say, I help you get your S.A.S.S on, that's what it's all about. Okay, so we're going to stop drowning the back end and we're going to build businesses that run on a rinse and repeat system. That's the best way that I believe our businesses need to go. So here again, what that looks like. A client, again, they have that question, you're answering it. You know, the contractors are doing all the different things, but you keep feeling like you need to be the one doing it all. So again, to me, it sounds like a little bit of trust as well, right? You know, and then you did, whether you believe it or not, on the other side, you really look like your processes aren't clear. You kind of look all over the place because if your business has to only wait on you, y'all, that is a problem. It's a problem. You may feel like it's being responsible, but over time, you become your biggest bottleneck because now the business, again, it cannot move unless you move. And then you mess around and you have team players, team members that feel like they can't do what they need to do because they don't want to make any decisions because you feel like everything needs to bypass you. Now that communication should have taken place before it. You know, they did things. You hired them, so you should be able to trust them, right? But the client cannot get clarity unless you provide it. That is not good. That is the founder dependency leak because the work cannot continue unless you're available. Now, dependency leaks one thing after the other. And the capacity thing that you continue to complain about is costing you. Now, I want you to consider something. If there is something in your business that you continue on a consistent daily basis to answer the same questions repeatedly, look at it what it's, for what it's for. Listen, it's costing you a lot of time, and most importantly, it's taking away a lot of energy, in my opinion, because you are carrying all of the decisions that should already have that process in place, right? The work is pausing because you're unavailable. I was looking and going back through my processes before I got my things in order and was looking at how much valuable time I had actually wasted doing that. I also realized that it cost a lot of growth. And I believe having certain processes and things in place, that's the one of the biggest steps that will help you grow, right? Because business cannot, listen, it can expand beyond your personal bandwidth. It just can't. And this is where many consultants get frustrated. They say, I just need better help. That is not the problem. That's not the case. It may be, but in most cases, it's not. But sometimes, listen, the problem is not the persons that's helping you. It really isn't. Sometimes the problem is that they are trying to work inside of a business where everything lives in your head. You got nothing documented, no documented processes whatsoever, no decision guide, no standard operating procedures, no clear handoff, and no repeatable way to move the work forward. So everybody keeps coming back to you, the CEO, the business owner. That's a leak, whether you know it or not. Here's a S.A.S fix. And remember, we move through it in order. Simplify, then automate, then systematize, then we streamline. First, simplify the recurring decisions. All right, CEO, founder, ask yourself, what decisions am I making over and over again? Second, automate the reminders and the handoffs. where you can, you know, free yourself up from some things. If something always needs to happen after a task, you know it needs to be done. You need to automate it. You should not have to remember that manually. Third, systematize repeated tasks. Turn those repeated actions into a checklist, template, workflow, or documented steps. All right. And fourth, streamline what keeps coming back to you. If the same thing keeps landing back on your desk, that process is not clear enough yet. Here's your action step. For the next week, I need you to track every time someone waits on you, every time someone asks, what should I do next? Every time a task pauses because it needs your approval. Every time a client question comes to you that could have been answered with the process. Do not judge yourself or judge the situation. Just track it. Okay. Don't go overkill. And at the end of the week, look at your list. That list is not just a list of interruptions. It's not, but it does feel like it in some cases. That list is your system building roadmap. Those are the places where your business is depending too heavily on your presence. And I want you to be clear. The goal is not to remove you from the business. That's not what I'm talking about. The goal is to stop making you the only way your business can function. You are still the leader. You are still the strategist. You are still the visionary. But you should not have to be the reminder, the tracker, the approver, the task manager, the follow up system, and of course, the operations manually. That is too much. Here's a question I want you to sit with as we begin to wrap things up. If you stepped away from your business for 5 days, I'm going to always ask you that, what would stop moving? That answer may show you the leak. And once you see it, don't shame yourself in a nutshell. Build the system. I'm going to keep hitting on it. Build the system. If it is one recurring question or one recurring thing that needs to be documented, document it. Do it. If it is one repeated task, create the checklist. If it is one repeated approval, create a decision rule, standard operating procedure with it all in there, okay? But if you track this for a week, okay, and you realize everything keeps circling back to you, the decisions, the approvals, the explanations, the next steps, this is what I consider not a workload problem. I know some of us think that because people tell us that. I think it's a design problem, really. Okay, systems, processes. Your business was built around you being present. Let's just be real. Not around a system. Here I am again. That works when you are actually not available. A system will work for you, right? But because nothing is moving in a smooth way, it's a direct indication that nothing can work without you. Listen, that kind of positioning yourself as a business owner is a way to keep you trapped, is a way to keep you frustrated. And, there's so many different fixes that you can do in that, right? It really is. You really need an operations infrastructure. That's what you need. And in some cases, if you find yourself constantly running into this over and over again, your operation process is all out of whack. Okay. This is the kind of work that we actually set up for a lot of our clients on a consistent basis, or not a lot of our clients. For some of our clients, we actually we take them through what I like to call a simplified to scale operational audit. Because, see, each week I'm going to be giving you all step by step processes of things that you need to do. I'm going to be exposing leaks, right? And if you find that as you go through this weekly process and you run into more than one, you really have an operations infrastructure issue that you need to wrap your hands around. Now, we offer that simplified to scale operational audit, but first things first. Today, simply track where the business waits on you, because you cannot build a business that runs without you if you do not first know where it is still stuck to you. That is how you stop drowning in the back end. That is actually how you put your business on rinse and repeat that let me keep talking about over and over again. All right. So I want you to make sure that you do that. I offer the simplify to scale operational audit. But listen, here's some things that you can actually do. I mean, if you want to come on over, hey, we're excited to have you over there, especially if you feel like you keep running into the same issues. But I do want you to focus on these fixes. Listen, I'm giving you some nuggets, okay? And these nuggets are going to be extremely helpful for you to move forward. Let's take the necessary steps. Track what you are doing, okay? Look at where things are sticking to you so that you can stop drowning in this back end stuff and go ahead and put your business on rinse and repeat. Again, I'm Danette Moss, aka the Strategy Lady, also known in the streets as the business growth and operations strategist. I love hanging out in my favorite places, Let's Talk Strategies and Digital CEO Systems. And I truly enjoy working or collaborating with consultants and service providers, service professionals who are really they're listen, they've got the success in their business, but they keep running into these brick walls. They know that they are all over the place and they just can't, don't know where to start. And generally speaking, y'all, it's the operations. I hope you'll join me on next week. We are here every Tuesday, 12 noon, and I'm going to be dropping some leaks on a consistent basis, right? The operational leak series is going to be here for a while because I feel like it's things that we need to go ahead and get the checkup from the neck up. And we, as founders of our business, need to cut loose being the founder who is creating those dependency leaks. See you all next week at 12 noon. And thanks so much for joining me. Listen, share this with someone else. Make sure you go back to last week if you missed that and begin to join us every Tuesday as we continue to build on a consistent basis. All right. Take care.